What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade coming to y'all with that hot topic news. Kevin Durant is looking like he's going to the Houston Rockets, which is crazy because a lot of people thought he was going to go to the Spurs. Some people thought he was going to go to Minnesota. Some people even thought that he might go to Miami. But he goes to the Houston Rockets with Steven Adams, Ime, Udoka, and a good supporting cast. They didn't really give up too many players that's legit in the league. What they did give up was Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks. And they ended up also giving up the 10th pick in this year's draft. This draft doesn't really have anything crazy in that 10th range. They have good players that can come in and get you about 10 points. We know how rookies can be. Plus, they already got their center spot figured out. And they got their wings still. They lose 2 wings, and they still had a bunch of them anyway. So they also had to give up 5 second-round picks. You rather give up the second-round picks than the first-round picks. So Houston didn't make a mistake there either. And like I said, they do have the ability to give him a contract extension. If you're going to give up this much for Kevin Durant, you're definitely going to try to re-sign him for the long term. And it will make sense to do that because he does have a couple more years of playing great basketball ahead of him in the future. Like Kevin Durant can still give you 20 points at age 40, just like LeBron, Ramon James. Now, will they help you win a championship? That's going to be the question because Kevin Durant hasn't really impacted big time winning in a long time since he's been in the NBA at this age since Golden State. Other than that, the guy showed that he can fit basically anywhere playing on and off the ball. He can score any type of way still to this day. He's automatic bucket. That's not get that confused. And the fact that you have to give up such a haul for him shows you like people say if you can't get a haul like Desmond Bain, ain't no point even getting rid of Kevin Durant. The Rockets was willing to give a lot of their picks away. Honestly, they got so much young talent on this roster. They don't even really even need the picks, to be honest. And there was a lot of other teams that you can say the same thing about what they have and what they would get. Because, like I said, the Rockets was a team that they could have gave up young players or picks, but some of these young players are really good. And so it makes sense to keep them so the team around him can be better, or they could even use them as trade bait for other pieces that they might want to put around this team in the later months. The more the season goes on and they start to see what the team is missing or what the team needs, they can package some of these other young players together to be able to get another piece. Phoenix was trying to do that when they got Kevin Durant. Let's try to get Nick Richards. Let's get Tyus Jones. Let's try to get, all these other guys on the roster to see if we can be able to win them like Bo. Never really materialized into anything significant. And that's why they're trading him and giving up on it because he didn't really help raise their bar. He didn't really help take them to another level. What's up with you, Brian Cruz? Thanks for joining in the chat and supporting the channel. But the thing about it is going to be fun to continue to see what Kevin Durant is going to really do because he hasn't really been a ceiling riser as a player. But I do like the fact that this guy has been, yeah, and I will agree. Like Jalen Green is a big part of what they do. He's a hard athletic scorer to guard, especially when his jump shot is going. His jump shot can be here or there. Obviously, he's a young player. He's not even 25. So I can understand why they will want to keep him. I will understand why this trade is still being worked out. And we don't know until it's officially done. And that won't happen until probably the NBA draft or a little bit after that. Some details or some other teams might want to join in here and get a little couple assets here and there and still add, some things to get some assets probably from Phoenix or from the Rockets because the Rockets have so many of these young players even on their bench, even after this trade. Now, Dillon Brooks, like I said, he's not really that. He's more of a salary cap filler. He's not really that great of a player. He can hit a three. He can defend. He's a gossiper. He's a talker. He's a head game type of guy that wants to get in your head, make you uncomfortable, make you frustrated. and he is a solid role player that we have respect for at Analysis Playground. And Jalen Green, like I said, he's a rising star. He already been averaging 20 points a game in some of his seasons as a young player. So he shows a lot of potential. He shows a lot of upside. Obviously, Phoenix will be having trouble with that because they already have Devin Booker. They already have Bradley Beal. So it doesn't really make that much sense to go for a guy like Jalen Green right now when they already have so many guys already log jammed at that position, and they still looking at Grayson Allen. They still looking at Royce O'Neal. So when we look at it from that perspective, they're just using it to get the best talent that they can get, the best haul that they can get, even if they got to fix their team too in the future, because some of these don't really make too much sense for the Phoenix Suns right now when it comes to roster management and trying to compete right now. So I can see somebody adding in another team or trying to find out something else to do with some of the players that they got and try to exchange some more things around this trade to make it make a little bit more sense for the Phoenix Suns, which is the whole purpose of trading anyway. But when you look at what they're getting, there's nothing wrong with what they're getting. I like what they have coming back for them. And 5 first, second round picks is just a lot. But like I said, you don't really fear giving that up when you're getting a guy that might be around for the long haul, might be around for some years. And the 10th pick of this year's draft is really good for Kevin Durant. So this draft isn't the deepest, but you look at the fact that that's something that you want to get. If you can get a top 10 pick, you have to go out there and get that in the first round, especially if it's, guys that can come in and give you a good balance. So I know that those guys not going to be able to play right away. That's going to be a problem. Obviously, when they look at their roster, this top 10 will be center heavy ish, power forward heavy too. And they might even get some wings or some more guards. Like, we don't know what they're going to do with Devin Booker right now. They saying that they want to keep him, but now they have more players that's going to be playing the same position as him. So that might not make that much sense either right now to a lot of people that's watching this trade. And then you have to look at the fact that they still trying to look at what they can get for these picks. Will they keep them in the future? Will they just draft somebody? They have been drafting really well so far the last couple of years, so it makes sense for them to stay in that direction. But now it's going to be you have an abundance of picks in multiple years. Will it make sense to keep all those picks, or will it make sense to try to get rid of some of those picks and move up in the draft and try to get somebody else that you might like? Get some guys that's been dropping, some guys that hasn't really been getting a lot of coverage because of that. And now they have to figure out what they're going to do in that type of situation too. So this trade doesn't look crazy. It doesn't blow your mind. It just makes you think, is the young players going to really make this deal a regrettable one, or will it even matter 2 to 3 years from now? Because that's how picks can be. They can be hit or miss. They can be out the league in 2 years, out the league in 3 years, or they can be traded because they didn't become the player that you want them to be. Even if you're getting the 10th pick in the draft, you rather get the number one pick, but obviously that's going to be something they're not going to be able to get. And they shouldn't even worry about that. But I do think they got to figure out what they're going to have to be able to do with the rest of these pieces that they ended up getting in this trade. That's something that's going to hard for them to figure out. You know what I mean? And this trade just looks a little messy right now. It looks a little unsorted. It looks like they had to get the best deal available, so let's just make it happen. Let's just get it done. And other than that, that's how the trades can be sometimes. But they did get, some good future players, and they did get some good things that can really help them in the future become, similar to like the Thunder. Like, you have so many assets. Now you get a big player. You don't give up Shengun. You don't give up Jabari Smith Jr. You don't give up Fred Van Fleet. You don't give up um, Cam Whitmore and guys like that. And that actually will be helping the Rockets because those guys are not going to be on expensive contracts anyway, and they already has been helping contributing to winning. And the one scorer that you really did give up isn't better than Kevin Durant, and I don't really see him being better than Kevin Durant no time soon. And that's just my honest opinion. But the Amen Thompsons and the Jay Sean Tates and the Tari Easons and Aaron Holiday, they still have a good supporting cast. They still have guys that they can be like at least 8 to 9 deep on this roster still. Plus, they have the ability to still sign people. They have the ability to go out there and get more people. So I do want to see the finalized trade of this Kevin Durant thing, and I do want to see what the Rockets and the Suns end up doing with the picks and what they end up doing with their players that they get in return. Besides Kevin Durant, obviously they're going to try to keep them as long as they can and try to win with them. And I don't think they gave up too much. I don't think they gave up anything crazy. I think they gave up just about enough that makes sense for a guy of Kevin Durant's talent. But I also think that this trade isn't the greatest thing that ever existed. You know what I mean? And that's what happens when you're getting a 36-year-old slash 37-year-old. You know, you're not going to get a crazy amount for him. Like some people gonna look at it, they gave up 5 second round picks and Jalen Green. It does sound like a lie. It does sound a little crazy, but at the same time, that's what you're going to do if you're going to get an all-star in return. Other than that, comment, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell for more analysis. And if you do see channel, do conversation videos just like this at NBA only topics. I'll do breakdowns of real footage of legends, current legends, rookies, and all the future stars. Let's do mock draft and draft coverage. So if you like that type of stuff, this is the channel for you. Other than that, see y'all later today with that instant analysis on the NBA Finals and see who's going to be the champion. I'll be back with that. Other than that, I'm going for now. Y'all stay blessed up and peace out.